Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, Katie. I know at the very beginning you were talking a little bit about the difference between inform and invite. Mm-hmm. And I know when I really got this and understood, I was kind of missing the point, was when I was giving a lot of information at my shows, and yet people weren't coming up and saying, I want to sign up. And so I heard this little story from somebody years ago about a woman who was making chocolate chip cookies, and she had got a great recipe. Okay, Katie just blanked out.
Oh, no. Where did you go?
Okay. I can see me. I just can't see you. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
You were frozen. Anyhow, the story is about a woman who was making chocolate chip cookies. Sorry, I'm trying to get the sun. That one beautiful thing about Colorado Springs is we have 300 sunshiny days a year here, which means we've got lots of light and it's making havoc here. So this woman was making chocolate chip cookies, and she had gotten a very special recipe, and she was really excited about how they turned out. So she called one of her girlfriends and she told her about the recipe, how she got them, how easy they were to make, and how they were turning out, and the smell and the taste and the gooiness and the stringy chocolate as they were coming out, and she was eating them. And then a couple of days later, she bumped into her friend and she said, how come you didn't come over and have chocolate chip cookies with me? And the woman said, well, you didn't invite me. And that's when I really got the difference between informing and inviting. So my question for you is, how are you doing this at your show? And what are you handing people? Basically, I know you ask, and it's not about the paperwork, but a lot of people think if they have the perfect recruiting packet or something that they're going to be able to do this. So can you just explain a little bit about how you do it, Katie? And
yeah, absolutely. So the difference, again, is the informing. You are telling the entire group. So that is in front of everybody when you explain what it's done for you, and make it personal. Make it about what you have gone from it. So if you're a brand new consultant, you can tell them how it felt like Christmas when you got those boxes in, and how you got all of the products that you needed and all the materials that you need. I mean, there was not one thing. They even sent you things that you didn't even think that you might need to start a business. But you got all of this amazing stuff, and you have more. You even have more to start or to continue pampering your kitchen. And if you've been with this a while and you've gotten a couple paychecks, 1 or 2 paychecks, you can tell them how it contributed to your family's income. You can say how you paid the mortgage this month. You can tell them, whatever it is that you have already gotten from Pampered Chef, tell them about that. Tell them about what you've gotten and about what you want from it. I mean, I get to be a stay-at-home mom. I got to go up to Kalispell, Montana for 3 days and help my husband put in a 100-foot ramp for this poor vet who was stuck in his house because the ramp that was in there. Anyway, I got to do that, and then Thursday and Friday is about Pampered Chef. And I get to do this today. I get to go host coach today. I get to send those reminders today, and then tomorrow is our homeschooling co-op, and then I have a cooking show. And then Saturday is busy too. So, I mean, I know that this fits in my life. I know that even helping my husband, being a homeschooling mom, this fits in my life. So tell them how it's helped you so far, and tell them what you want. Tell them you want a fully pampered kitchen. But that is creating the interest. That is informing everybody about how amazing Pampered Chef is. And I promise you, you can't talk too much about how amazing Pampered Chef is. Seriously, the opportunity is the best thing in the entire catalog. And then inviting them is liked about it. Are we back?
I think we're back.
Does it have a red light?
Did we miss some stuff?
Just a little bit about what you were telling them. Katie, what if people don't have their own stories? What would you tell one of your recruits to share if they really are brand new and they don't have their own story? How do you got
the kit? It feels like Christmas when they get that kit. you know, and then feeling like they have absolutely everything they need and a supportive team, and they're working towards pampering their own kitchen, and they're excited because they know that eventually they're going to be able to pay for whatever it is, or that they are getting that extra spending money, or it's just fun. Like, maybe not everybody needs Pampered Chef for the income. Some people need it for the adult time. Some people need it to have their girl time, you know, or guy time, you know, just. But talking to them and telling them the broad range of what it's done for you, whether it's you're brand new and you just got your kid in, and how excited you are about that, and how it felt like Christmas, and it's just an exciting thing. Or if you've gotten a few paychecks, I mean, just tell them what you've gotten and what you want from it, and just be real with them. And that's informing everybody. And then inviting is always one-on-one. You can't do that. You can't just be like, and if you're interested, come and talk to me afterwards. No, after the party, always do your one-on-one checkout. And I tell them that I'm going to ask them 3 questions. I'm going to ask them about when they want to have their party. I'm going to ask them about the income opportunity. And I'm going to ask them about if they want to get some sales and recipes and specials from me. And so what that is the hosting, the business, and the newsletter. Because personally, and this is just like a Katie thing, I don't like it when people add me to groups without my permission, and I don't like it when they send me emails without my permission. So personally, I ask them if I can add them to my contact list so that they can get the emails and specials. And I find, especially here in Montana, it might be like a Montana thing, people appreciate not getting, you know, at least me asking. 75%, yeah, say absolutely sure. And I say, great, thank you. And those who say no, they get relieved whenever they don't get the emails afterwards. But that's the difference. Informing is a bunch of people. Inviting is always personal. And I have this up here. I don't know if it's backwards for you guys, but it says coaching tip, but it's also the invitation tip. It says wait. And it says, why am I talking? Let them talk. You can't talk too much about it when you're informing everybody and making it personal. But when you're talking to them, let them talk to you too. And listen to the not right now. Listen to the, oh, I can't. Listen to the, oh, I'm too busy. Because those are not no's. They think they're no's, but those are not no's.
Okay, this is great. So she has been telling us a little bit about informing and inviting, and we have a separate training on interviewing. Mm-hmm. Katie, anything else you think they need to know about just telling everybody? So with me personally, I don't do a lot. Now, I always add the opportunity brochure into every host packet, always. I always have them with me at every party in case I get more questions about it, if they go home and they want to think about it. But most of it is me talking to them and listening and finding out how and why it could help them and make it about them. And that works for me. So, I know you mentioned earlier about having the right paperwork and things like that. That's just, I find it more effective if you just talk to them. And one of the things that I find myself saying over and over and over again, especially if it's like the 6th time that I've asked them, I always tell them, I can't not offer this to you. I can't not tell you about it because I know what it's done for me and I know what it can do for you. And I know that if you give this the 3 months where you have the free website and see where it goes from there, maybe at the end of that 3 months you tell me, Katie, I can't do 4 shows a month. I can't do the 6 shows a month. That's fine. Be honest with me and we'll chat, and I'm here to help. But you can't not give it if you have any questions at all, let me know. I'm an open book. There's nothing too personal. Don't be like, well, I can't ask Katie that's too personal. Ask me anything because I can't not ask you again. Okay, Katie. So as we're closing up and doing a recap, there's a couple of things that comes to my mind. And one is about growing a thick skin and not letting the nose bother you. And then the other thing is, of course, tracking. And how do you remember to follow up? What's your system for that? And then we'll just kind of recap everything. We're seeing her list there. Obviously, there's a list and there's a system, and it's probably simple.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 12 people on my fence list. There's a check mark next to 2 of them. And those are the people who have mentioned anything about being interested in the business opportunity, and that way I can see who I need to just chat with. Just go on Facebook, because Facebook, everybody's on Facebook now. Just, hey, how are you doing? Just thinking about you. How are you liking your XYZ, whatever they ordered on the last party? How's your family? Things like that. And keeping the communication and the relationship going. And yeah, so that's how I keep track of the people. And no, no's don't bother me, because them telling me no just means I have more hosts and more orders coming my way from them, instead of the other side of it, to where they are people that I'm helping on my team. So that's no's don't hurt. No's don't bother me at all. And if people tell me no at the cooking shows, I say thank you very much. That's fine, and we move on. And then we work on the hosting. And one thing I do need to get better at is the customer care calls, checking in with them afterwards. But no, no's don't hurt. No's don't hurt me at all, because
so
I know eventually I get yeses.
So the next thing that pops in my head is, how often do you follow up?
You're kind of breaking up.
Okay, how often do you follow up? Do you have a system, or is it just when it strikes you, or both?
I heard how do I follow up?
How often?
When I do that?
How often?
How often?
Do you follow? Yeah.
So that's how Pampered Chef fits into everybody's schedule. So I didn't do anything with Pampered Chef Sunday through Wednesday. Well, actually, I kind of did, because I took a break during the ramp and I closed a couple parties. But as far as host coaching and the people on the fence, that's where today is. That's where I make sure that I sit down. Maybe, and it depends on the person. It depends on the level too, because there's somebody on here who's been on here for about 1.5 years. And I don't take them off the list until they tell me, you know what, I'm just not interested anymore, period. So I'll message them and I'll say, hey, I was just thinking about you, and things like that. And then say, hey, we have a great special this month, and then offer it to them again. And if they don't respond to me, then I send them another message, and it says, hey Jennifer, I messaged you last week and I didn't hear anything back. Please let me know if you have changed your mind about earning some extra income with Pampered Chef, or if you've changed your mind about whatever, that they had their interest in. Please let me know. I'll stop bothering you. I don't want to bother you, but you told me that you wanted for me to keep, messaging you. And at that point, 99.9% of people say, oh no, sorry, I was just busy. Yeah, you can keep asking. I just not right now. And I said, okay, great. Thank you. And you know what? Somebody on my team, Stephanie B, she was on the fence for probably over 1 year. And I just kept the communication open, and I kept saying, well, this is the special this month, and so whether it's once every other week, depending on if they were friends with you or not, it could be once a month. Just remember to have their name up there and to keep track of when you chatted with them, and just keep the relationship open. And if at any time they stop responding to you, now don't do it like on a weekly basis, but if they anytime stop answering you, then give them that out. Say, hey, have you changed your mind? I don't want to be a bother to you. I'm just here to help. And then they can come out and say, no, please keep letting me know. or I'm just not ready yet. Or yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. It's not right for me. But I'll always be your, pampered chef, or I'll always be your host, or I'll always whatever,
Okay, so you just said something about waiting and listening and getting information. And then you talked a little bit about when you contact them saying, when do you want to get your paycheck or whatever. If somebody says, I'm interested in getting a night out, do you handle that different? Do you have little notes next to the people's names, what they've told you, what their why is?
The people that I still have on this list, I kind of know what it is, because when they really make it to this is when, we've had more than one conversation with them. Some people say yes, and then I'll I'll email them and things like that. But honestly, if they don't respond to a couple emails or a couple messages, then maybe I should have a second list, but I don't. But these people, I know what they wanted out of it. And that would be
you just have a good memory. I have to write it down.
And it depends on the people. I will have the last person that joined my team, I didn't write her name on the list. And then I was going through my receipts and I saw the, possible interest. And then she had told me no and things like that. So I just sent her another message and said,
Do you use a drawing slip, or do you just use the checklist that is on the receipt?
For my parties, if they tell me they're interested, then I go off of that. But the list is for people who I've actually had one-on-one conversations with after the show about it.
Okay.
And no, I don't have a different script or anything that I use for the people who just want the night out. I said, great. So how many nights out do you want? Ask them, what their availability is. So, the last person that I spoke to that joined my team, she told me I asked her work schedule. She said she was really busy. She worked full time. I asked what the schedule was, and I found out she had Friday afternoons or Fridays off, and then Saturdays after 4 were open. So I said, so realistically speaking, would you be okay doing a cooking party and teaching people? I know what her passion was about. So I said, and teaching people that, or getting together with people, just those, 2 or 3 of those Fridays a month, or maybe adding some Saturdays in. And she goes, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we just added like 6 available spots because of the Fridays and Saturdays that she didn't even think about that she had.
Okay. Because a lot of times if they're at a Tuesday night show, they think, people want to do shows on Tuesday nights instead of seeing the broader picture. So kind of as a recap, about what you do is you're passionate and you don't have a lot of fear. You ask multiple times. You have a tracking list. You really believe that the kit is like Christmas and that people have enough to offer just by sharing how they started and how complete and the support of the team. And that people need time. And that sometimes you give them a bug out or a way to say, no, I'm not interested anymore, and that's okay. You don't take no's personally. You do put information in your host packets, but if you didn't, you'd still follow up with people. And it's not about what you give them. It's just about listening to them, finding out what they need, and checking in with them over and over again.
Yes.
Anything there?
You were kind of breaking up a lot during that, but I got the gist of it. And the biggest thing is that quote, and I don't know who says it, but people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And then when you make it okay for whatever their excuse is or their reason, maybe not as excuse, maybe it's a reason, maybe whatever their reason is, when you make that okay, and then you let them know, saying yes doesn't mean that you're going to quit your job and do Pampered Chef full time. What do you want from it? How many days a week do you want to do this? Or how many parties do you want? Do you want to just do online? One of the people who's on my list is, terrified of people. She just wants to do online, and that's okay. We just had Charlotte, the guy, promote to executive just doing online shows. I mean, the woman doesn't even cook. So if
2 years.
I'm sorry?
In less than 2 years.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. In less than 2 years. That's crazy. So, I mean, Pampered Chef is for everybody. I don't care if you can't cook. I don't care if you work full time. You know, I tell people, and I said, one of the things that I also tell people is when they give me a reason why it probably won't work for them, or they try to use that, is I tell them, you know, I don't intend to sound mean, but this is your business. This is what you want it to be, and I don't care. I don't care what the level is. I just want you to be honest with me and say, Katie, this is how much I want to make per month, or Katie, this is how many times I want to go out and have fun with other adults. And that's where we'll go. That's what we'll do. You just tell me what you want, and we'll go from there. It doesn't bother me.
Awesome. I really think that people could listen to this a couple of times and get a lot of great information out of it. And I appreciate you being willing to re-record this. This is try number 2, and hopefully we'll be able to splice it together, or we'll be doing third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm. Anyhow, Katie, thanks for it, and have a great day, and enjoy your busy life. Bye.
Bye.